All right, we're exactly 1 week away from Election Day.
And we know you'll have to decide on several amendments for the Sunshine State.
Yeah, and we know you have some questions before you head to the polls next Tuesday.
That's why we invited UCF historian and political expert Jim Clark to join us this afternoon.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah, and he will be live with us throughout the next few hours here on the air, and then he will be hosting a live chat with you online if you haven't had enough on clickorlando.com.
Yeah, so let's get started with the amendments. First of all, thank you so much for being here.
Sure.
We're talking about Amendment 1, and that has to do with solar. We've all seen the ads, Jim, and they all sound like, wow, why wouldn't you vote for this? You know, vote for one for the sun. So what is it that homeowners need to know before they check yes or no on this?
This is the most amazing amendment. First of all, it's going to be the most expensive amendment ever put on the ballot. Already the spending is over $30 million.
You mean for the ads?
For the ads, yeah. And for the campaign. We've never seen spending like this on an amendment before. The people for it are the power companies. 80–90% of the money has come from Duke Power and Florida Power and Light, and it's headed by Orlando's Dick Batchelor. And they are saying this is going to help solar. The opponents, the AFL-CIO, the Audubon Society, and a host of others are saying, no, it's a bad amendment. They are joined by writers like Carl Hiaasen. Almost every newspaper in the state has come out against it. They say it'll be bad for solar. So,
well, which is it?
It's a pick'em. Basically, what they want to do is make it part of the Constitution so that if local governments or even the state government try to give solar an edge against electric companies, that they can say, wait, this is in the Constitution, you can't do that. So it really is a pick'em, but it depends who you want to believe. I mean, you have two sides here saying exactly the opposite.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, so make sure you read that amendment before you head to the polls.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of us talking about Amendment 2, that's the one that deals with medical marijuana. Now, a lot of folks are familiar with Charlotte's Web. How is this different?
It's not that different. I think the difference this year is the campaign. You remember, Julie, 2 years ago, it almost passed. One of the problems with all the amendments is you need 60%. And that's really hard to get 60% of Florida. I can't get 60% of you all to agree to things. And so it's really hard to get that magic number. I think the Amendment 1's going to have trouble with that. But this year, I think Amendment 2 is going to pass easily. The campaign is different. The anti-forces don't have the money they had 2 years ago. And so I think it's a better amendment, and I think it's going to pass fairly easily.
Okay. And a lot of people are concerned about this allowing marijuana to get into kids' hands. I mean, what do folks need to know about that?
I think most of these stories are apocryphal. You keep hearing them, and nobody can quite pin them down. Yeah. Oh, I heard a story about some kids in somewhere who had this candy. This is a pretty straight amendment. It is medical marijuana. It is not recreational marijuana.
All right, and then Amendment 3 and 4. These are more, you were saying, more of the feel-good amendments, right?
They are. How can you be against them?
Right. So the third one is talking about permanently disabled first responders who are hurt in the line of duty getting a tax exemption as well, as tax exemption for senior homeowners.
Exactly. I mean, they're not going to cost you or I much money, if any, and in terms of higher taxes, and they are positive amendments designed to help people who need help, obviously, first responders who are injured in the line of duty and elderly homeowners trying to hold on to their houses.
All right.
So, Jim, you're going to be here with us next Tuesday, and I know this is an election like we have never seen before. What are you expecting next Tuesday?
I don't know. We've never had an election like this. Ginger, you think about it. We have constitutional amendments that are controversial. We have a presidential race that's controversial.
That's more of what I was talking about.
But also, do you realize that at least 70% of Central Floridians will wake up next Wednesday with a new representative in Congress. Wow. We've never had that kind of turnover before.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
It's amazing.
That's a big number.
And again, the important place is I-4. 6 counties. Whoever carries 4 of the 6 gets to be president next week.
4 of 6. Remember those important numbers.
Yes.
Jim Clark, thank you so much for your
My
insight
pleasure.
and information. And of course, remember, Jim will be live with us here on the air coming up at both 5 and 5:30. Then at 6 o'clock, he's going to start a live chat with you at home. So if you didn't get the answers you wanted right now, he's going to answer your questions about the election. Just head to clickorlando.com, powered by News 6, and click on the red banner. You won't be able to miss it. It's right at the top of the homepage. Jim, thank you so much.
My pleasure.